Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to can soup. I decided to do a chicken and vegetable soup in some pint jars. It's an easy pressure canning recipe. Let me show you how I did it. Now before I got started, I got my jar soaking in hot vinegar water in the sink, and I got my canner on the stove heating up. Now this is a pressure canning recipe, so I made sure I had my pressure canning gadgets on my lid. This is a ball recipe. I do mine a little bit differently, so let me show you how I did it. I am gonna raw pack my vegetables. Today I'm using carrots, baby potatoes, onions, and I have pre-cooked chicken that I had from earlier this week. Now I love making my own broth, but I didn't have any on hand, so I'm gonna use this Better Than Bouillon to make my broth. I'm gonna heat it up on the stove. Next, you're gonna cut your vegetables and meat into bite-sized pieces. Now for chicken, you can use raw or pre-cooked chicken. I have pre-cooked chicken today. I find it a little bit easier if you use at least halfway cooked meat for soup. When you're done chopping all your vegetables and meat, go ahead and pull your jars out of the sink and start filling them. I like to go through and put one handful in at a time to make sure there's some consistency throughout the batch. Now you, by all means, can follow the recipe to a T. All it originally asks you to do is just make a pot of soup so all the ingredients are hot. If you are raw packing your vegetables like I am, all you have to do is just make sure your broth is hot. This is so no jars crack in the canner. Here you can see the layers of all the vegetables and chicken in my jar. Now it's time to fill the jars with the broth. As I mentioned before, just make sure the broth is nice and hot. It doesn't need to be boiling or anything. You're just making it so your jars don't crack in your hot canner. I am going to add a half a teaspoon of canning salt to each jar. I am only doing this because I put potatoes in here and potatoes need salt. After that, it's time to debubble. Make sure each jar has 1 inch headspace. Wipe the rims. And put the lids on finger tight. Then you're going to load your canner, put the lid on, and then let the steam vent for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, you're going to put your weight on. Once your weight starts jiggling, then you can start your time. After the time is up, take it off the heat and carefully slide it over without touching the weight. Let it sit off the heat and let it cool completely until the button is down and the weight stops jiggling. After it's cooled, there should be no steam coming out of the top when you take the weight off. Go ahead and carefully take the lid off, letting the steam roll away from you, and take your jars out. Place them on a tea towel on your countertop, allow them to cool overnight, and check the seals the next day. Now sometimes you do have some siphoning or leaking during the canning process, making your jars kind of slimy and dirty. The next day, after they're fully cooled, you can wash them in very lukewarm and soapy water before you put them on your shelf. After this, you can go ahead and store them in your pantry. They will last for 2 or more years on your shelf. I love having home canned soup on the shelf. It tastes much better than store-bought, and honestly, I know I have some fast and easy meals to come with them. I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.